Welcome to the Illumination ranking video. Yay. I've been wanting to talk about this studio in particular. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. Illumination is kind of a terrible studio when it comes to making actually good movies. Sometimes when they make good movie, it's completely rare, and sometimes when they make garbage movies, it's not even surprising to me. I mean, I don't hate Illumination. They're not the worst thing out there, but their movies can be terrible at times. I love their animation style, trying to be realistic, but their stories and characters can sometimes be inconsistent at times. Okay, look, I'm not saying I hate Illumination. It's just their movies can be kind of terrible, and most of the movies are kind of terrible, so yeah. But aside from that, let us begin with the first Illumination movie, Despicable.
Why ask why when this is art? Why parallel?
Okay, jokes all aside, Despicable Me is actually a good movie and probably one of the studio's best. It's not groundbreaking art that will beat Pixar or Disney, but it does have the right heart and it does tell a good story about opening yourself up to some people. Believe it or not, I actually really enjoyed the Minions here.
What?
Yes, I said it. Come fight me. The Minions are not really used as much as the other sequels are, but they are handled pretty well, which I love. And as you see in this video, in the next couple of Despicable Me sequels, that is gonna be the problem for the rest of the sequels. I also love the story about how Gru wants to adopt the girls and then starts to actually care for them, which was really sweet. The whole scene where they're reading the book is generally one of the sweetest parts of the movie and probably one of the more emotional parts for Illumination, honestly. Vector was really good. He was actually a pretty good villain, honestly. By the way, can we all agree that Miss Hattie is the coming of Satan? Must go to hell. Overall, Despicable Me 1 is a really good movie, honestly. It might be one of the more better Despicable Me movies. From the studio that brought you Despicable Me, they give you dog shit. Pop was terrible. I mean, do I even have to say why it's terrible? Do I even have to explain why it's a bad movie? Do I even need to explain why it's the lowest rated Illumination movie of all time? Absolutely not. Because I think everybody knows why this movie is terrible. It's a CG live-action hybrid movie with a bunny. Of course these movies are bad because they're live-action hybrid movie because Alvin and the Chipmunks came around the same time. And you know a fun fact? This is the same director who made Alvin and the Chipmunks. Every single character in this movie is so boring. Okay, maybe not Fred, but everybody else is so bored and dull. Like the Easter Bunny, how he doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny and just wants to play the drums because, oh my god, rock and roll was a thing back in the day. The story was trash. I literally don't know what to say. The story is so basic, but they somehow messed it up. And don't even get me started on the voice cast. They somehow hired the most controversial British actor to play this goddamn bunny. He is a truly horrible person, by the way. If you want to know more about him, go look it up. But anyway, Fred is a likable character, at least. I guess his story about how he was kicked out of his house was relatable and also sad sometimes, I think. The Easter Bunny wasn't likable in the slightest because he's a bunny and he's live action. And that's what makes him bad. The villain was really confusing, in my opinion. It's one of the Illumination's worst villains, in my opinion, honestly. And the way he was defeated past my tea. How? Why did he get defeated this way? So overall, and I say this very slowly, Hop is the worst Illumination movie by far. And I recommend nobody, even kids, don't watch it. So, did you know Illumination actually did Dr. Seuss movies? Yeah, I'm surprised too. And you know what I think about them? They're completely boring and dull. This one is very bad, honestly. It's probably one of the worst ones by Illumination as well. For some reason, this movie adds a love interest in the movie. Audrey, she didn't really do anything, honestly. She was just the main subplot to make the main character go out to find this mysterious voice guy, which I forgot the name of the guy, and it's stupid. The whole plot about how the Onceler was a bad guy and cared about greed and not others was bad, I think. I don't even know if that actually happened in the movie, but I think it did. Also, the music was terrible, honestly. I didn't really vibe with How Bad Can I Be, honestly. It was just the most corniest song I think I ever heard come out of a movie. I do love the Lorax. He's played by Danny DeVito, and I think he did a really good job. By the way, did you know he did languages for the movie? Yeah. I didn't eat it. I think the message is in the right spot, but honestly, the movie itself is kind of bad. Also, there's this Indian song in the movie, which was all over YouTube at one point, I think. Overall, the Lorax was kind of a mid-movie, honestly, and it wasn't really a good Dr. Seuss movie.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel.
Despicable Me 2 is actually a pretty good sequel. And sadly, one of Illumination's only good sequels. I think the NVL stuff was handled well. I also think Gru and Lucy have a pretty good relationship. The minions were great as usual, but I do think they were used a little too much. Also, El Mancho is a good villain. I just love how he wants Gru to team up with him, and that's really relatable, honestly. And I guess the girls were good as usual as well. The story of Agnes is one of the... Agnes? What the fuck? The story of Agnes wanted to have a mother is really sweet. And you want to know a fun fact about Despicable Me 2? It's the only Illumination movie that was nominated for an Oscar. No, I'm not kidding. The fact that this is the only Illumination movie nominated for an Oscar is not a good sign, honestly. Sadly, it didn't win, but it was still nominated, so it's good. Overall, Despicable Me 2 is a good sequel, in my opinion.
I can't see me loving nobody.
Minions. Yay. This was probably the movie you guys were probably waiting for me to rank because it's the Minions. So this should be fun. Before I actually talk about the movie itself, I just want to let you guys know the Minions were not as bad as they are in Despicable Me 1. You want to know why they weren't as bad? Because they were not the main focus and they were just there to make you giggle a bit. But this movie is so scared of not including minions for one scene. Oh. And if you think there's a plot, get ready to be sincerely disappointed. The main story is minions are trying to find a new leader, and they come across Gru at the end, and that's it. But this is Illumination, so what do you think Illumination does when making this movie? Yep. They don't even focus on the main plot, and they just focus on minion shenanigans because, oh my god, it's funny, guys. You better laugh! By the way, none of the jokes are even funny in this movie. I mean, some of them are funny, but none of them are good. The story sucks, by the way. How do we go from finding a new leader to somehow becoming the King of England? Don't even ask me how they became King of England. Don't even ask me how people even love these guys. And don't even ask me how the government is fine with this. How are they fine with these yellow minion dudes running the whole entire city of England because it's British? As you can tell, I really don't like this movie. The plot is pretty simple and it can be executed well, but somehow they didn't execute it well. The villain was not even good in my opinion. By the way, how do we, as a society of Americans, allow this movie to even come out? And if you don't notice, this is when Illumination finally knew what to do. Just make movies without even trying. And this movie was everywhere at the time. You got Amazon boxes, cereal boxes, and a whole lot of more stuff. Don't get me wrong. This movie is fun. I like it fun. But as a story, it's bad. Overall, Minions is not a good movie in storytelling, but it is good in fun stuff, okay? The Secret Life of Pets. Why does this movie sound so familiar? It sounds so I just can't put it. Oh, right! This is Toy Story, but with pets. I swear to God, I'm not making any of this stuff up. It's basically just Toy Story with pets. It's the exact same plot. I'm not joking. A dog gets jealous because another dog is in town and he's more popular, and, you know, the owner just loves the new dog, and the old dog gets jealous and wants to take feedback on, just takes revenge on them, and then they start to love each other. You see where I'm coming from with this movie, that this is the exact same movie from Toy Story? Every character is just a copy and paste from Toy Story. I'm not joking. The main character, Max, is basically just Woody, but a dog. Dog is basically Buzz. This girl is basically Andy, but a girl. Then the white puppy is basically Bo Peep. There's a lot of side characters in this movie. Like, there's a lot of them, and I couldn't care less about any of them. I guess Snowball was the only enjoyable part of the movie. He was actually pretty funny. I mean, it's Kevin Hart, for Pete's sake. This guy is already funny as is. Oh, the movie. Yeah. I forgot about the movie. The story's not good. It's Toy Story, but with pets, honestly. I love what they were trying to do with Dog and how his previous owner passed away. It didn't really get me, though. This movie has an excellent idea. What do pets do when we leave? But instead of actually making a story, original story, they just copy from Toy Story with pets. And it's not good. Overall, The Secret Life of Pets is just Toy Story with pets. Just go watch Toy Story, for God's sake. I actually like Sing. This might actually be one of Illumination's better movies, honestly. It's kind of on the same level as Despicable Me 1. I really love these characters. I really love Johnny and his growth with his dad. It's pretty cool. And I love the message about dreams. You can follow your dreams. It's really cool. I love it. But you know when I said this movie wasn't perfect? Oh, this movie has some problems that I hate. First off, the main character, Buster Moon, was not likable in the slightest. All he did for the entire movie was lie so he can avoid trouble. I just really don't like Buster Moon. His story from the beginning of the movie was kind of interesting, but they somehow ruined this guy, like, middle of the movie because of this stupid lion. And the scene where the theater gets destroyed, I didn't feel anything. It was sad, but I didn't feel anything, and he kind of deserved it, honestly. Oh, and you think this guy will get better? You're gonna have to see into the next movie. You're gonna have to see into this next. You're gonna have to see it. But aside from Buster being the devil himself, every single other character was also good and likable, and they had pretty good growth. By the way, Buster steals a lot of stuff from other people just for the show. I just wanted to point that out because. But aside from that, overall, Sing was a good movie right next to Despicable Me 1.
Hold on to me.
Speaking of Despicable Me 3. Yay, I get to review another Despicable Me movie. God might be on my side today, yay! Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This movie is a clutter mess, dude. You know, I really enjoyed this movie as a kid. I thought, oh my god, this is a masterpiece. Might be a godsend item that God wanted me to see all the time. Maybe it was the next Oscar nomination. Whoa. Okay, let's not go too far. Where'd I put my gun at? I need it, please. I need it! Oh, no, Brayden. I'm not letting you off this easy. I still need that paycheck. You know what I mean? I need to get those paychecks so I can make the money. John, listen here. I do not give a little rat's about your money. Money. What about the talking about? Brayden, I need the money or my boss is gonna fire me. John, I would not even care if you got fired because I hate you. Ow, please stop. You love me.
You do love me, right?
Nope. I never did, and I will never love you, John. Get the out of here. Wait. You do love. I know you love. You got that big smile on your face. Just for any confusion out there, no, I do not love John. And I probably will never love that guy. Guy's too annoying. Back on Despicable Me 3. I actually really loved Despicable Me 3 as a kid. I thought it was a masterpiece. A godsend item, will you say? But now, what were the people behind this movie thinking? First off, there's 3 side plots. Yep, your eyes are not deceiving you, and they're definitely not going crazy. 3 side plots. And do you want to know what the 3 tiny little weeny, not important at all, side plots are about? I am going to assume you said no, and I'm going to continue explaining what the side plots are. So the first side plot is the main one with Gru and his brother Drew. Then it's about Agnes is trying to, I can't say fucking Agnes. Then it's about Agnes trying to catch a unicorn, thinking it is a unicorn. It was just a goat. Then it's about the minions going to jail for some reason. Yep, don't ask me, because I don't know why either. But let me give you a little hint. These 2 side plots, Agnes and the minions, don't do anything to the story. You can remove them from the movie, and it still makes sense when you're watching it. Sorry. It's like, it doesn't matter at all. Why did they even add these two side plots if they were never the main focus in the beginning? If there was one thing I had to get grace to Despicable Me 3, it's the dynamic with Drew and Gru. I guess it was done well. And the villain, while being an interesting villain, was kind of executed very bad. They even got Trey Parker to voice the villain for some unknown reason. And I guess the story of Lucy trying to be a good mom was good. It's just this movie is such a cluttered mess. I cannot even explain how bad of a mess this is. If I had to say one thing also good about it, the ending was fine, alright? Overall, Despicable Me 3 was one of the worst Illumination movies of all time and one of the worst Despicable Me movies in the franchise.
I actually liked it.
So I actually really like The Grinch. It's more of one of the more better Dr. Seuss adaptations nowadays. Well, we gotta wait until the Cat in the Hat movie comes out, and then we'll see. But I think they executed the story really well. Some people really hated how they made the Grinch an orphan, which I don't really mind, actually. But I will admit something, the Grinch's personality in the beginning kind of ruins his, redemption arc in, like, the middle half of the movie. But his mean personality is kind of gone in this movie, which I really miss from the old Grinch. So, yeah. Also, the animation is really good here. Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say on The Grinch. It's kind of a basic Dr. Seuss adaptation. It's probably one of the more better ones, honestly, so, yeah. Overall, The Grinch was indeed a mean one, and was a good movie. And I could tell that Illumination did try for this movie.
I got bras in Atlanta. Twist and rope, drink it.
The Secret Life of Pets 2 is forgettable, honestly. I honestly thought they were just going to copy Toy Story 2 because that's what they did in the last movie. They copied Toy Story 1. But no, they just went with a normal plot without copying any movie. Thank God. Doesn't mean the movie's still good if it doesn't copy another movie, though. For some reason, there's a lot of subplots that don't really go nowhere. Every character is still forgettable. And for some reason, this movie focused way too much on Snowball, which I really love Snowball, but I really feel like he shouldn't have been in this movie for that long. There's also some new characters. And guess what? They were still forgettable. Everything about this movie is forgettable, honestly. That's what I wanted to say. Is that what you wanted to hear? This movie, everything about this movie is forgettable, okay? So, overall, The Secret Life of Pets 2 is really forgettable, honestly. Okay, please don't hate me, and please understand with me. But I actually like Sing 2. Okay, put the gun! Put the gun! Put the gun! Yes! I said I like that Illumination movie. God, what's my boss gonna think about this, man? I really love the style this movie was trying to go for, like a Las Vegas type of city, and I really love it. Also, all the new characters in this movie are pretty likable. Buster Moon isn't a perfect guy in this one, but he was at least a little better than he was in the first movie, honestly. He does lie in this movie, but it's for a good reason, so I'll forgive him for it. All of the character arcs in this movie are pretty good and really well done. And the villain actually was pretty good and actually pretty threatening sometimes. I do enjoy the plot where they're trying to find Clay Calloway, and there was a pretty good backstory to this guy when he lost his wife, which really well done, and there's also a pretty good reason to not want to return to Seaton, honestly. It's pretty valid. Also, the animation is gorgeous. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but Illumination loves to play it cheap so they can make more money off the movie. And when I watched Sing 2, it did not look like the animation was cheap. It looked like it was expensive, but somehow it's cheap. Actually, Despicable Me 1 didn't have a big budget, so yeah, I guess they've been doing that ever since, I guess. By the way, I'm sorry for the intro song. I could not find a single good song I like in the movie. This was the only one I liked, okay? Don't judge me. They also added this fox lady who was a little beautiful. Beautiful, you know what I mean? It's like, I just wish I can... What the hell am I talking about? Overall, Sing 2 was a really good sequel. It's kind of on the same level as Despicable Me 2, honestly. Surprisingly, Minions 2 was actually a pretty good movie. I know, right? A Minions movie is a good movie? I am so sorry if I just ruined your day with that laugh. I want to apologize really bad. No, but really, Minions 2 is an actual good sequel somehow. I do love how this movie gives each character the time to shine, which I really love. The setting is also gorgeous and good. And the whole story about Gru just wanting to join the Vicious Six and then having to stop them was really good and felt more like a Despicable Me story in my opinion. This movie kind of gives the Minions a purpose in this movie to try to save Gru, which I really love. And I just love how it's not just like shoving Minion jokes all the time in your face, which... Thank God, a breath of fresh air. And I guess Otto was okay throughout the whole film. I don't think we have ever seen this Minion once in the first Despicable Me. So what happened to this Minion? Did he die? Or did he just go lost? What happened? Illumination, please explain. What happened to this Minion? I want to know right now. Also, the villain was alright in my opinion. They didn't really do anything through the whole film. They just kind of... exist. Oh, and Gru and Wild Knuckles have a pretty good friendship, honestly. It's probably one of the best in the Despicable Me franchise in a good bit. So yeah, Minions 2 was definitely an improvement for the first movie. Instead of just focus on the Minions, it actually focused on other characters like Gru, which I really appreciate. And I really love how Illumination did take notice of their fan base and saw the reviews of the first Minions movie and actually did try to improve some things, which, good job, Illumination, which I thought I'd never say in my whole life. So overall, Minions 2 was a really good sequel and an improvement to the first one. I hope Minions and Monsters is a good movie. Oh, God.
We're the Mario Brothers in plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame.
So the Super Mario Bros. Movie was actually an amazing movie in my opinion. No. Don't look over there. Don't look over there. They're all wrong. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at the critics. They are stupid, and they don't know what they're talking about, okay? Yeah, this was a huge controversy in the Mario movie thing because critics didn't like it. But for some reason, they like Sonic. I mean, I'm not saying that they're wrong or they're just doing their job. So, I'm not saying they're, bad or anything. It's just, really? Anyway, back on topic. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was a really good movie, in my opinion. The characters are likable. And the cast is, let's use the word questionable here. No, but Chris Pratt did do a good job. Charlie Day did amazing. And Jack Black was amazing, in my opinion. In my opinion, though, the Mario movie isn't really the best thing in the world. The story is kind of simple and predictable. Some characters didn't get enough screen time, in my opinion. How did they do my boy Luigi like that, man? But I think the jokes are pretty good, so I'll forgive them for that. I really love Mario and Luigi in this movie. Their dynamic on screen was pretty sweet and made me very nostalgic for the characters. I also love how the plot isn't just save the princess. No, it's just save Luigi, which I really love. I also love how Peach is just a badass girl in this movie. You expect her to be the one getting captured, but no, it's Luigi for some reason. Bowser was an actual good villain, in my opinion, one of Illumination's best in a good bit. And the score, Brian did such a good job of the score in this movie, dude. But overall, the Mario movie is a good movie, in my opinion. I don't know, it's fine. It's not bad, but I kind of found it forgettable, honestly. This is basically every bird movie that always came out, like Rio and Happy Feet, and now this. I do love how Illumination did try to tell an original story, but it just kind of felt bland and forgettable, honestly, and kind of predictable. But there are some parts I do find enjoyable about the movie, like the dad, how he's being overprotective of the family, and how the wife wants to go out and explore the world, and the kids were enjoyable at the least. Even we can't say her name. Yeah, Migration is kind of forgettable, honestly. Just go watch Rio. It's 10 times better. Overall, Migration is an okay Illumination movie, and it did feel like they did try.
I know you heard the rumors. You must get over to.
Despicable Me 4 might be actually the worst one in this franchise, and I'm not being over-exaggerated. Why does Gru have a baby? It kind of felt like he only wanted the girls, honestly. I really felt this baby was just used for comic relief, honestly. The plot was kind of worse than Despicable Me 3, honestly. And it did feel like Illumination did not care when trying to make this movie when Minions 2 came out. And I really feel like they forgot how to make a good Despicable Me movie, honestly. All the new characters in this movie are kind of bad, honestly, like the Poppy girl, which had an annoying voice, in my opinion. I really want to kill somebody who casted her in this movie. The Mega Minions kind of felt unoriginal at some times, honestly. And the villain, in my opinion, was kind of bad, honestly. He's a cockroach guy, and he got mad because Gru stole a song, in the performance he was doing, which, I don't know, it felt stupid, honestly. There's also some stuff that doesn't really make sense in this movie, honestly, and I don't really feel like going over it in this video, honestly. I'll make a whole video dedicated to this movie, talking about why I hate it and what stuff I didn't like about it. If there's one thing that this movie did that made me mad, I guess it's because they made Gru, like, so weak in this movie, even though in the first Despicable Me, he was called, like, a badass supervillain, honestly. If there was one thing I really liked about the movie, it was kind of the ending where all the characters start singing songs, even characters from the past Despicable Me movies and the Minions movies were pretty cool to see, I guess. Overall, Despicable Me 4 is a movie that shows you don't have to have hope in the franchise, honestly. And I honestly have no hope for this franchise, honestly. They're just gonna keep milking the Minions from this point until they have no idea what to do, and they're gonna have to shut down the business. Overall, Despicable Me 4 is a bad movie, and one of the worst ones in the Despicable Me franchise. So the Super Mario Galaxy movie was actually not too shabby. I do have a full rant video coming out about this movie, so stay tuned for that. But aside from that, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is not too shabby. I like the music, I love the animation, it was still pretty good. But this was kind of a letdown from the first movie, honestly. First off, I really love what Illumination was trying to do with the story. It was actually somewhat fine, and the ending was really good. All the characters are still likable in this one movie. I really like it, including some of the new ones, like Ward and Rosalina. However, there are some complaints I have with the movie. This is the Luigi problem all over again. Rosalina is sidelined for the entire film. Now, that doesn't sound bad, but she was marketed for the whole entire movie. She was marketed everywhere. So sidelining a marketed character is kind of confused in my opinion. The plot was kind of worse in my opinion. There was a lot going on in this movie, but I'll explain that in the whole rant video coming up. Bowser did have a pretty good arc about wanting to be a good guy, but for some reason, once he gets to his son, he just wants to be a bad guy over again. Like, there could have been a great arc with this guy, but for some reason, they don't do that. But aside from that, all the jokes are still good in this movie, and it's okay, alright? It's not a good sequel, but it's not an amazing sequel. So overall, the Super Mario Galaxy movie was kind of a disappointing movie in my opinion, but it's not that bad. Overall, Illumination is a good studio and fun in making great animation, but they're kind of the worst when it comes to actually telling a story, honestly. Don't get me wrong, there's no problem with having fun. Illumination is allowed to have fun. But here's the problem. If their first movie was Despicable Me, an emotional story about opening yourself up to somebody, yeah, I can kind of see where people are getting mad at Illumination for. Is Illumination a good studio? No, they're not even close to becoming a good studio in my opinion. But I think they'll be the more memorable studios in the world, honestly. Let's give some thoughts out on their upcoming movies on their list, okay? So let's do it. Minions and Monsters. This is a very complicated movie, honestly, and I don't think I'll like it, but it does have potential to be at least a fun movie, honestly. Sing 3. Okay, so after Sing 1 and 2, I think this has potential to be one of the best ones out there. The Secret Life of Pets 3. Bad. That's just what we have to say. It's gonna be bad. Okay, that does it for the Illumination ranking video. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button. We're very close to our goal of 200 subs. I really would appreciate it, man. I would really appreciate it. Please. I need you. Please.